Well, my topic is going to be the Ice Age. Only the Bible can explain it, and I hope to cool it off in here with talking about the Ice Age. Pretty provocative title, but I will flesh it out and explain what I mean by it. First of all, I'm going to ask you two questions. Number one, what is the last major geophysical event in Earth history? Just give you one guess. The Ice Age. Well, that was the second. Even with the evolutionists believe this. The Ice Age was the last big event. Now, I'm going to ask a second question. What if evolutionary uniformitarian scientists can't explain the last major event, while creationists can? What do you think that would mean? Okay, I'll let you ponder those, and then I will revisit it when I get to the end. Well, here's a summary of what I'm going to talk about. There was a recent ice age, and this was after the flood, and it's a major mystery of mainstream science. The climate change caused by the flood resulted in the ice age. There was only one rapid ice age. There will not be a future ice age. How many saw that movie, The Day After Tomorrow? Where the ice age comes on in a matter of what, a day or two? You know, Hollywood extravaganza, but and there's a number of people who believe that, but in a slow process, maybe over decades or something like that. So some people think that we're going to have a future ice age. Now I'm going to go over some support for the model that I generally haven't talked about before. Something called wet deserts, evidence that desert areas, semi-arid areas had lakes, streams, lots of water in them at one time. Also, the lowlands of Siberia and Alaska and Yukon were unglaciated. This is a mystery according to the mainstream ice age ideas. I'm going to go into the woolly mammoths in Siberia, Alaska, and Yukon, which are big mysteries, still are, have been for 200 years. I'm going to go into what's called disharmonious associations as support for the model. This is animals that love the warmth and love the cold being found together in ice age deposits. And the most outrageous example is in England, where you have 100 locations where hippopotamus fossils during the Ice Age were fossilized with woolly mammoths and reindeer. How does that happen? Okay, disharmonious associations. And then I'm going to talk about end-ice age extinctions. Why did all these mammals that lived in North America, even Australia, all over the world, go extinct at the end of the Ice Age when things should have been improving? I believe these will be support for the model. I'll flesh them out later. This is just a summary. So I'm going to go into some challenges to the model. How are ancient ice ages to be explained? These ancient ice ages are supposed ice ages that you find in the geological column that they claim are up to 2.2 billion years old in the hard rock. And some of them lasted 100 million years or more. And if they happened, the Pleistocene ice age, which would be the recent ice age for us, it would be just another one of these. So having all these ancient ice ages in the geological record is a challenge to the ice age model. Also, ice cores. They've been drilling cores down the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheet for 40 years or more, and they've been counting annual layers, counting up to 110,000 years supposedly, like counting the rings in a tree to determine the age of the tree. So they claim the Greenland ice sheet towards the bottom is at least 110,000 years old. How do we explain that? That challenges our young age dating system from Genesis 5, 10, and 11. I'll be going into that. So that's the summary. Now I'm going to talk about, here's the challenges, the evolutionists challenge us on the recent ice age. They say each ice age takes 100,000 years. The glacial phase of that ice age is 90,000 years. The interglacial phase is 10,000 years. And there were 30 regularly repeating ice ages during the past 2.5 million years. Moreover, the Antarctic ice sheet started forming about 40 million years ago and reached a peak about 15 million years ago, and it's been in steady state for that 15 million years. The Greenland ice sheet formed several million years ago. Arthur Strahler challenges us in the anti-creation book, Science and Earth History. He says, increasing the duration of the ice age by a factor of about 10 greatly increases the stress upon the creation scientists, who must compress the events of 15 million years into 4,000 years of post-flood time. Sounds like quite a challenge. What do we do about it? Do we say, well, that's too much for us? No, I think we need to think of a verse in the Bible. In the New American Standard Version, it's translated like this: examine everything carefully, but hold fast to that which is good. In other words, hold fast to the Bible as God's Word, the gospel, but we're to examine everything carefully. We're just not supposed to imbibe all this stuff that we get from the world and just accept it. We've got to check it out. And that's what I've been doing for 30 years. This is my motto verse. This is what I will apply to the Ice Age. So, let's start off with dating methods. They talk about millions of years. And let's dispense with those right away. Dating methods, we're doing a lot in dating methods recently. We have the RATE project at ICR, and the Creation Research Society, I might add, was part of that. And they're finding out some very provocative things that are going to be published here any day now. Anyway, many times we've dated fairly recent lava flows. You date the time a lava flow cools, by the way. So a bunch of creation scientists from ICR hiked up to Mount St. Helens and took some samples of this lava dome that was coming up after Mount St. Helens erupted. And they sent that to the standard radiometric dating method laboratories. And they got these dates by potassium argon dating for when it cooled. And it's less than 25 years old. And this is not an isolated instance. This has happened over and over and over again, not only by creation scientists, but even the secular scientists have done this. So there's something wrong somewhere with all these dating methods. But I have a real personal reason for being skeptical of these things. I was a weather forecaster for 30 years. And has this ever happened to anybody? Today's weather forecast, 100% chance of sunshine, and it's dumping on you. Well, you know, I've done that to people. I made the forecast. I've done this, 0% chance of precip, and it rains on them. I've ruined thousands of outdoor activities. And we can barely forecast the weather a day in advance, sometimes not even an hour in advance. And yet they can tell us in detail what happened millions of years ago. Based on my experience forecasting the weather, I have become very skeptical of what they tell me millions of years ago. But the good news is I've since repented of my sins and retired. So I'm no longer responsible. I didn't have anything to do with that snowstorm here a few days ago. You know, they're always blaming the weatherman. Okay, that's it for dating methods. Was there an ice age? That's the first question. Was there an ice age? Well, to know that, we should go to places that are glaciated now or have glaciers. And practically all the glaciers in the world are receding today due to global warming, which I believe is half natural, half due to man. But it's a very small effect. It's 10%